Hey, what is going on everybody? Today and welcome to Q&A number 15. So before we get into the questions, I first wanted to say that if you haven't asked any questions yet, and you still want to do so, then be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Then I'll make sure to answer your questions in one of my future videos. So the first question comes from the Sam111, and he asked me, if you got offered a place in a pro Call of Duty team, would you take it? So the answer to that is probably not. I mean, those pro players, they really do play the game a little bit too much. In fact, they just play the game about 5 to 8 hours a day just to make sure that they always know the best spots, that they always know the best routes, the best class setups, the best weapons, etc. Now, although I really enjoy playing Black Ops 2, although I really enjoy playing Call of Duty for that matter, I personally wouldn't really want to look at playing Call of Duty as a quote-unquote job, as a quote-unquote way of making a living. I just really enjoy playing the game every now and then, every so often, just for as long as I actually want to play the game. And I wouldn't really want to look at it as a job, as a way to make money, because I would probably get burned out on the game incredibly fast. If I played the game that much, I would probably also get angry at the game, and I personally wouldn't really want to do that. So no, I would not want to join a pro Call of Duty team. Anyway, the next question comes from Mohammed Sherbeni, and he asked me, what is your least favorite weapon within each weapon category? So I really have to think about this one for a little while. I mean, there are a couple of assault rifles that I do not really like, or really there's just one. I don't really like the M8A1 actually, and I think that is it. The Chicken CQB is pretty much the only SMG that I don't really like, but I also don't really like the Vector K10, I also don't really like the Scorpion Evo. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go for the Chicken CQB. Next up for LMGs, I will probably go for the Hammer. I don't really use that one that often. Personally think the QBB is a little bit better than the Hammer, and the MK48 and the LSAT are both pretty beast. In terms of shotguns, I'll probably have to go for the S12. I personally don't really like that one. I don't really like the M1216 either, but the thing is that the M1216 is an incredibly challenging weapon to use, so it is also pretty rewarding if you actually manage to do well with that weapon. So that's why I'll probably have to go for the S12 as my least favorite one. In terms of sniper rifles, I personally don't really like the SVUAS, but I also don't really like the XPR50, so it's just those two. I really do like the DSR and the Ballista. I just do not really like those semi-automatic sniper rifles, especially when spraying enemies are using them. That's when I hate them the most. Anyway, next up for pistols, I'll probably have to go for the Cap 40 actually. I'm pretty sure that most of you will enjoy using the Cap 40. The Cap 40 is very powerful, but that doesn't mean that I actually enjoy using that weapon. I personally just don't really enjoy that one. I enjoy using the TAC 45, I enjoy using the 5.7, the B2VR, even the Execution, but I don't really enjoy using the Cap 40. And I don't really have a least favorite launcher or a least favorite special, simply because I don't really use those weapons. Anyway, next up we have a question from Genetics, and he asked me, do you ever rage quit when playing Black Ops 2? So the answer to that is yes, of course. Even I rage quit every now and then when I'm playing Black Ops 2. I mean, I usually rage quit whenever I get put into a game in which there's already an enemy swarm up in the air, or an enemy VTOL warship, or something like that, a lodestar, whatever it will be, because within those games I'm simply going to get killed over and over and over again, and in the end I'm still going to be losing that game, so I usually just rage quit right away. And I also rage quit whenever I get put into a really laggy lobby, but I don't rage quit when I'm just quite literally being beaten up by my enemies, because if they're better than me, then they deserve to get those kills pretty much. That's just the way that I think about the game. Anyway, I don't really rage. That is something that you gotta keep in mind though. I mean, I do rage quit, but I don't rage. During the Modern Warfare 2 days, actually, I was a real rager. I would curse at the game, I would scream at the game, I would try to hit things with my controller, I would step on the disc, etc. But the thing is that I actually stopped raging after Modern Warfare 2. I don't know, there was something inside of my brain that just told me that it wasn't healthy to get mad playing a video game. So whenever I feel like I'm going to get mad at the game, I usually just quit, but I do rage quit. I'm pretty sure that most of you will rage quit every now and then. Anyway, last but not least, we have a question from DMD4484, and he asked me, what is your favorite weapon out of every single Call of Duty? So I'm not entirely sure about this one actually. I mean, there are so many great weapons to be found within some of the Call of Duty games. I mean, in COD 4 you had the M40A3 and also the R700, then in World at War you had the Arisaka and the Kar98. The Arisaka, for those of you wondering, that one is probably my favorite weapon within each and every single Call of Duty. Probably the Arisaka with the bayonet for that matter. Then in Modern Warfare 2 you had the TAR-21, the Intervention and the Barretts. Then on to Black Ops 1, you had the MP5K, the AUG, and also the FAMAS. Then on to Modern Warfare 3, you had the G360 and the M4A1, but also really like the L11. And then in Black Ops 2, I'd have to say that my favorite one is still the Scar-H, but I also really like the A94. Those weapons are actually pretty similar. The A94 is a little bit more accurate, but the Scar-H has more power. Anyway guys, that was it for Q&A number 15. So if you enjoyed the video, a like rating would as always be very much appreciated. If not, that is of course cool as well. On the screen right now is my latest video, which is Black Ops 2 Live episode 30. If you haven't checked out that video yet and you are interested in checking it out, then be sure to do so. With that said, I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope to see some of you next time. Take it easy.